Okay, let's do Torah Art Pashas Kisisa, page 172. Okay, the pasuk says it's only two Maimorim in Kisisa, but it says Zayidnu. It speaks about the Machzas Shekel, the beginning of Pashas Kisisa. So it says Zayidnu Kolei Ve'al Pkudim. This is what should be given for all those people that go through the counting. It means 20 years and up. Machzas Shekel b'Shekel HaKodesh. They should give a half a shekel, esrim gera shekel. A whole shekel is 20 gera. Machzas a shekel, you have to give half of it, truma l'Hashem. Okay, that's what the pasuk says. So it says in the pasuk, neida b'sharim baila. It's known in the gate, the husband, meaning Hashem, pasuk refers to Hashem, is the husband of the Jewish people. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Baal Shekol Neshama MiYisrael. Hashem is the husband of every neshama. What does it mean, a husband? A husband is the giver, the wife is the receiver. So if Hashem is the husband of the Yidden, that means Hashem is the giver, the sustenance and everything, and the Jews are the receiver. Shekol Ava V'Yira. Sheyesh L'chol Neshama MiYisrael, that any love or fear that a Jew has, Hakol Me'yutei Yizbarach. Everything comes from Hashem. If the entire sustenance comes from the husband, that means spiritually speaking, any love or fear that a neshama possesses, where do they get it from? They got it because Hashem gave it to them. And everybody according to his own level. But you go into the gates, meaning the Dalit Sha'arim, the four gates. What are the four gates? He says, Ava v'Yira, love and fear, Torah and mitzvahs. Okay, that's what it says in Kabbalah, that the four gates are love, fear, Torah, and mitzvahs. K'naid, as it's known, it corresponds with the four letters of Yud Kei Vav Kei. So love, fear, Torah, and mitzvahs correspond, the four gates correspond with Torah and mitzvahs. Correspond with the four letters of Hashem's name. Love and that to understand, but now the question is, if everything comes from Hashem, where do we have free choice from? That means we don't have free choice. If Hashem gives it to us, so then we don't have free choice. There's a lot of things dependent on the free choice of a person. So if Hashem is giving it, how is it possible that we have free choice? There's a general question. If every action that we do is coming from Hashem, so where do we have free choice? Well, the Vayir Zantan explain what exactly is dependent on the person, and what comes from above. So obviously it's like this. Hashem gives, we still have the free choice to do or not to do. So the question, we need to understand what comes from above, and what do we have free choice in?
Yeah, the Torah is Zah.
He didn't say yet anything. I know it didn't say anything yet. Uksiv, it says in the pasuk, Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad v'Yohavta. Right? This is, it says the next pasuk is Shema Yisrael, then v'Yohavta you shall love Hashem. V'nei b'Ohava yesh beis perushim. In this mitzvah v'Yohavta, there's two meanings of it. Meaning, Echad Lashon Tzivui, Shetav Vayisei, one is a mitzvah, you should love Hashem. V'Yohavta, you have to love Hashem. And the second one, Lashon Osid, Shetav V'Yohavim Memela, another interpretation is, V'Yohavta means, you will love Hashem. We learned this in the past. The Maggid asks a famous question. The Mizrich Maggid asks the question, how is it possible to command somebody to love? There's a mitzvah in the Torah to love Hashem. V'Yohavta Hashem Elokecha. There's a mitzvah in the Torah to fear Hashem. Hashem Elokecha Tira. So the question is, you can command somebody on an action. I can tell you, do something, don't do something. You hate it, you'll do it anyway. You want to do it, you won't do it anyway. And an action is shaykh to command. But on a feeling, I can't command you to love it. I don't love it, what do you want me to do? Seemingly you can't command somebody to love. So the Maggid explains, that's not necessarily the word v'Yohavta means. It means like this: Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad. When a person meditates into the greatness of Hashem, because intellect stimulates feelings, The Maggid says, Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad. When you meditate into Hashem Echad, the whole pasuk, v'ahavta means you will love Hashem. So in other words, the mitzvah is to do the intellectual stimulation, which is possible to do. You can think even though you don't want to. You can meditate even though you don't want to. And then v'ahavta means, like he says, v'ahavta means two things. V'ahavta means you should love. V'ahavta means you will love. And he said, the first love that he said after the mitzvah, he has baininess, becomes a meditation. In other words, the mitzvah is meditate in Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad, and therefore you will come to the mitzvah v'yahavta. V'hainu, meaning, what does it mean? Lahav and bedaiti, to meditate into your mind. Achdus yizbarech, the oneness of Hashem b'shiva rekim, in the seven heavens. Or the Ches, right? Aleph, Ches, Dalet. Ches is 8, which is 7 heavens and earth. Dalet is the 4 corners of the world, and they're all subservient to the Aleph. In the way that Hashem didn't change, there's no change in Hashem. Just like before the world was created, the only thing that existed was Hashem. So it is now. In exactly the same way, that the only thing that exists is Hashem. Shekel that all the worlds are nullified completely in comparison to Hashem, like it's known. In other words, the sun and the shield, meaning, this that the world seemed to be real. Yeah, he says, Shekel Gomer is a complete lie. Is completely false. Worlds, from Hashem's perspective, don't exist. It exists in our perspective. That's from our perspective. But that doesn't mean it's true. A simple Gashmistic example of this, if you put water into a red glass, and you look at the glass from the outside, the water is red. As far as you're concerned, as far as your perception goes, the water is red. But that's false. It only looks red. It's not really red. The water is still colorless. So this, from our perspective, it looks like the world is something. But the reality is the world doesn't exist. It's Shekel.
So he is concerned about the other.
Huh?
He is concerned about doing the right thing.
Right? No.
For him, it exists.
No.
Then he gets angry. He got angry at Moshe Rabbeinu for not doing the right thing in this world.
Explain to me how Hashem gets angry.
It says in the Torah.
I understand. What does it mean?
Pounds his fists on the table.
Yeah, what do you mean? What? What do you mean Hashem gets angry? I'm asking what does it mean Hashem gets angry? So you're asking me a question, Hashem gets angry, so it's physical? Huh?
You tell us what does it mean.
Good point.
He took his revelation away.
It says in Halacha, a person is never allowed to get angry. Anger is like idol worship. It says in Halacha, even when you get angry at your kids, at students, whatever it is, you're only supposed to appear to be angry. But really, internally, you're not angry. Which means like this. For the show, you're angry. But realistically, you're not angry. Because you're not allowed to be angry.
It's not only anger. It says, Yeshua to Moshe Rabbeinu.
Does the world exist or does the world not exist?
It's a big question for you.
As far as we're concerned, it exists.
It exists as Hashem says it.
Tangible, it
We have
exists.
two proofs from
And
Halacha.
God says in the Torah that He created one by one, whatever He did, so He
Okay.
did something.
So, from that perspective, world exists. Yeah.
And reality is that it's tangible.
No. From that perspective of Elokim, Bereshis, bara Elokim, Vayomer Elokim, Vayomer Elokim, in the level of godliness, which is concealed, yeah, world exists. Hello. Torah is emes. Torah is emes, and Torah says Hashem created the world.
So why do you...
So, one second. So the world is created. But that's only from the Elokim perspective. From the level of godliness which is concealed. Right?
Yes.
Now from a level of godliness from his perspective which is not concealed, truthfully worlds don't exist. The only thing that exists is him.
I don't get it.
I know, neither do I. Because we can't get it.
Because
But words, we can understand it in words. Meaning as follows, and simply. That's what we learn in Shayach B'Amunah. Hashem hu Elokim. Now, from Elokim is a concealment that the world is real. The world is real from an Elokim perspective, which is the way we look at it. The way we look at it. From our perspective, the world is real. From the Havaya perspective, and even definitely from higher than Havaya, so there is no existence of world. But, I'll give you another example. If this room would mamish be empty, okay? Nothing in the room, nothing. Yeah? And a guy walks into the room and says the room is empty. Is he saying the truth or he's lying?
he's lying, because there are photons.
He said.
Now, if a guy comes over to a woman, okay, and says, Harei at mekudeshesli, on the condition the room is empty. Is she an Ashes ish?
Yes.
If somebody commits adultery or they get killed,
Yes.
I was never conditioned fulfilled. 1 minute, this is a serious thing. Can you imagine? The guy says, on the condition the room is empty, so she's mukudeshes, she's a married woman, with capital punishment involved. Yes? The room is not empty. From his perspective, from human perspective, if a guy walks into an empty room and says the room is empty, there's nothing in here, he's not lying. Because in the realm of humanity, if you don't have one of the 5 senses, you don't see it, you don't smell it, you don't hear it, you don't, whatever, yeah? It doesn't exist. From Elokim's perspective, world exists. Torah's emes says, Bereshis bara Elokim. From Elokim's perspective, world exists.
Yes,
If a guy says to a woman, I know I keep knocking you off. A guy says to a woman, Harei am b'kudeshesli, on the condition there's a world. Yeah? Is she married? Mekudeshes? I ain't muvade. There is no world.
Whatever he says on the condition there is no world. Is that also valid?
No, because from our perspective, there's a world.
Our perspective is more primary.
We're speaking. We speak our perspective, not.
Yesterday's Rashi, Moshe Rabbeinu tells Hashem, I don't want a malach, I want you.
Correct.
If Hakadosh Baruch Hu didn't like and didn't care about this war, how come he said I'm coming down? He said,
Okay.
I would be with
1 second. Of course, Hashem cares about this world.
you. He just says that it doesn't exist. He says the war doesn't exist.
But from our perspective, worlds exist. From the Tachtainim level, Dira b'Tachtainim? What do you mean? You don't understand. Dira b'Tachtainim, from the Tachtainim level, world exists. And in that world, that from its perspective and perception, world exists. Over there, Hashem says, I want you to show that even from your perspective, world doesn't exist. Einheit Movadeh.
I understand that. But
No.
Hashem tells Moshe Rabbeinu, no malach.
Not no malach. I'm only sending a malach.
But then Moshe says, I want you.
Yeah.
So Hashem says, okay. If the war doesn't exist for Hakadosh Baruch Hu, what is he coming down here for? If I Moshe Rabbeinu is asking him to come back?
Because, again, in Dira B'Tachteinim, no, Dira means to the essence of Hashem. Yes? Dira Latzmusik. The person at home is the way he really is. In the street, it's all bluff. It's all facade. It's all acting. At home, you are the real person who you are. Yes? Now, from Hashem's essential perspective, Gashmias and Ruchnias are exactly the same thing. So from the essence of Hashem's perspective, Gashmias is not any less a locus than Ruchnias is. If anything, Gashmias reveals a deeper level of Elokus than Ruchnias does. Correct? That we learned 1,000,000 times. Okay. So what does Hashem want? Hashem's taiva, nesava, Hashem had a taiva, desire, and as Alter Rebbe uses the expression for taiva, you can't ask any question why you lie, why you want. You want because you want. There's no logical reason. If it would be logical, then it's not a desire, it's logical. Nisava means there's absolutely no logic to it. This is what I want. Yes? So what does Hashem want? That in the world, which thinks it's a world, in that world you should show that it's not a world. Not in the levels where there's no world. In the level that there's no world, Hashem says, why do I have to prove there's no world? There is no world. What Hashem wants is in a world, and therefore he created a world that thinks it exists. From its perspective, it thinks it exists. Why did Hashem? It's a game. Hashem said, listen guys, I'm going to create a world that thinks it exists. When in reality, from my perspective, it doesn't exist.
Did he say that?
Yeah.
So what is that? Hashem created
What it
the
is
world.
our assumption, because how do we know?
Torah says that's what God said. I mean, did he say?
Okay,
You know.
how do we know? How is his perspective?
How can you say Hashem created and then he says no, it doesn't exist? He created something, so there is something came to existence.
From the Elohim level, it existed.
Okay, so it's in his limited way, but he has affiliation with it.
For Elohim.
We don't know what
From
is
that,
the perspective.
again, water in a red glass looks red. The room is empty. From our perspective, the room is empty. Is that true? It is true. And therefore, if you do Kedusha with a woman, she becomes a married woman, all the severities of it.
Is that why Shusterman noticed for all Elohim like that?
That's the whole thing, starting from Bereshit Bara Elokim. Vayomer Elokim, Vayomer Elokim. All the way at the end, it said, B'yem Aseis Hashem Elokim. Shitavim Midas Rachman.
Rabbi, a canister that is in a vacuum, could you say it's empty?
There was a whole question from the Rebbe. I don't remember exactly when the Rebbe was sick with a heart attack, and you have to give a shot. I mean, you want to draw blood, so you create a vacuum, you pull it up, and then the blood comes out because of the vacuum. Yeah. So the Rebbe was asking them, is it the vacuum? And I remember the whole thing. The Rebbe was asking the doctors, scientifically, what's the concept of a vacuum? How does a vacuum draw? Whatever, I don't remember the detail, but it was a very interesting question that I've asked. The whole discussion with the doctors.
Defense of question.
Huh?
Defense of question.
But Rabbi, if you don't say the world doesn't exist, that could lead to saying, I don't care about this world. It's not.
Don't worry, we care plenty. I don't care about world. Yeah, I want to see those people. I don't care about the world. Yeah, there were Siddim that didn't care about world.
This conversation going nowhere.
Huh?
This conversation is not going anywhere.
Yeah, it is.
Because I can right now tell you I don't see you.
That's a lie.
From my perspective, I don't see you.
No, if you close your eyes, you don't see me.
Go ahead.
Your eyes are open and you say you don't see me.
From my perspective.
One second. When a parent plays with a kid, you can't see me.
That's right.
That's a false statement. That is a false statement. Because you don't see my eyes maybe, but you see my stomach, you see my hand, you see my neck.
Maybe.
Instead, there's from our perspective and there's the real perspective. When the water looks red, from my perspective, the water is 100% red. From my perspective, the room is 100% empty. That's a fact.
Thank you, Rabbi. I think I got 1%.
You're a liar. Because you didn't get 1% because we can't.
1% of infinity.
Yeah, 1% of infinity is what?
That's a lot. Because it's infinite.
That's I got too technical. No, you know what? Let me tell you something. This concept, we can't even understand something above logic. Logic dictates that there are things we don't understand. Even Goyish logic, not in secular logic, says, yeah, there are things we don't understand. But what is it that we don't understand? We don't understand. Here, not only are you talking about Elokus above the level of world, but you're talking about essence, which is no comparison even. But we understand that we don't understand. But we understand that world, from Hashem's perspective, does exist and doesn't exist. From the Elokim perspective of Hashem, meaning the concealed level of Elokus, world exists. From the higher revelation of Hashem, world doesn't exist.
The Torah mitzvahs are not important to the Bible.
If I go behind the curtain and I hide, am I hidden from myself? No. Am I hidden from you? So am I hidden or not? From my perspective, I'm not. From your perspective, I am. Now are both true? You could either be or not be hidden. Am I hidden or not? Truth. Am I hidden or not?
From someone.
Oh, but you just said that can't be. It is other.
Rabbi, do I have water in my hand?
No.
In my perspective, I have water.
No, you don't.
I do.
What do you have water in your?
I feel I have water in my hand.
Oh, come on.
It's okay, we see people like this all the time.
Yeah,
So
you're
that's exactly what I mean. It's a philosophical
No!
talk.
Let me ask you a very simple question. I hide behind the curtain. Okay? Answer me. Am I hidden?
Your body
From whom?
from other people, your physical body.
What kind of curtain?
I'm hidden from you.
Yeah.
Am I hidden from myself?
No.
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 You could be.
So I'm asking you a halachic question. What's the emes? What is truth? Am I hidden or am I not hidden?
You have to
Your
qualify.
physical being is
You
hidden
have to qualify.
From whom?
from people.
Am I hidden from myself?
No.
The deep, you could be blocked off from your deep spiritual. Yes.
Oh my God.
You could be blocked
I'm
off
asking
from
you a
your
simple
Torah.
question. I go behind the curtain. Am I hidden?
Yeah. The physical.
I'm only hidden from you.
Yes.
That means from your perspective, I'm hidden. From my perspective, I'm not hidden. So Elokim that made the world, creates your perspective.
It's a very good mashal.
That I'm, no, Chassidus gives us mashal.
Your question is lacking. You have to qualify your question. It's not.
What do you mean? I'm asking a very simple question. Am I hidden or not?
Am I
What's,
hidden from? You have to.
no. Am I hidden? No. Am I hidden?
No,
Yes and no.
From you I'm hidden.
but not from yourself. So you're
That's
not
exactly what I'm saying.
So you're not fully.
Both perspectives are true. It depends. The only problem with Elokus is,
You have to qualify.
the only problem with Elokus is, that curtain is also me.
Curtain is.
So in reality, I'm not even hidden from you.
It's not mashal.
That's the whole concept of hiding Elokim. Shemesh u'mogen Hashem Elokim.
Two perspectives.
So again, is there a world? From Elokim's perspective, there is. From Yudke Vavke perspective, or higher than Yudke Vavke, there isn't. Why is
No, I understand. Two perspectives, two emets.
Both are emes.
Yeah.
And then there's everything in between.
One second. If you say, no.
My emet and
Now, there's emes lamitei, ultimate truth, is I'm not hidden. Because if I'm not hidden from everything, including myself, then it's not real hidden.
Ultimate truth.
Instead, ultimate truth is if I'm hidden, true emes, then I can be sometimes hidden, sometimes not hidden. Some people hidden, some people not hidden. So from your perspective, emes, again, if you come over to a woman and say, she'll see on the condition the guy's hidden. On the condition the guy is hidden. Is Mekudashas? Is the condition fulfilled?
Down here.
Well, that's the way he's doing it from his perspective. Okay, so then it should become an Ashes Ish with all the severities. Yeah? Now, is it really hidden? Emes hidden? No, because emes means if you're hidden, every aspect hidden. And if you're not hidden, you're not every aspect hidden. So there are two perspectives, and both are emes. From this perspective, it's emes, and from this perspective, it's not emes. But that's not contradictory. From my perspective, the room is empty. From my perspective, the water is red. In real emes, is the room empty? No. In real emes, is the water red? No. Am I really hidden? If I'm not hidden from everything, then it's not real hidden. But from your perspective, it's 100% hidden. And like we learned, oh my God, what's the name of the game? Ubikashta mishamasam shamalakacha motzasa. Hashem says, I'm hidden, go find me. That means unhide me, i.e., remove the concealment.
This argument is different with the guy says I feel